No one knew what happened the night the rain refused to stop. In the heart of the Mbali village, a young woman named Zuba walked barefoot through the mud, her hands wrapped protectively around her swollen belly. She was alone, not because she wanted to be, but because everyone had abandoned her. They said she was cursed. They said she bewitched someone's husband. They said the baby growing inside her was not human. Women turned their backs when she passed. Children were told not to look her in the eye. And the men laughed, spat on the ground and said, "Witch." Zuba once had everything: a home, a husband, a name that was respected. But now she was nothing but a shadow carrying shame. And yet, what no one in that village knew was that the night she was betrayed, a powerful spell had been broken, and the child inside her was not a curse. It was a consequence. 1 year earlier, Zuba had been married to Mosa, the village healer, a man with charm on his tongue and poison in his heart. Everyone thought he was wise, a man of herbs and spirits. But Zuba knew better. She had seen what others had not. Late at night, Mosa would disappear into the forest with offerings of blood, and when he returned, he was never quite the same. Zuba was told never to ask questions, never to open the third room of their hut. She disobeyed, and that, they say, was the night the spirits woke up. That was the night Mosa changed forever. He stopped touching her. He stopped talking to her. And weeks later, he disappeared, without a trace. Zuba searched. She cried. She begged. Until one morning, she woke up vomiting and dizzy. The old women whispered, "She is pregnant." But Mosa had been gone for months, and she had no answers. Now, in the rain, surrounded by shame, she carried a child that no one believed in, not even her. But deep inside her belly, something was moving. Not just life, power. And soon, Zuba would learn. The greatest betrayal is not from man, but from the spirit he sold his soul to. The whispers began 3 nights after the full moon. Zuba would lie awake, staring at the cracked ceiling of her hut, her hands cradling the child that moved more each night. The wind carried voices now, software distant, but they knew her name. When she passed the old baobab tree at the edge of the village, she felt it, a shift in the air, a weight in her chest, and a voice, not loud, but clear. Return what was taken. She stumbled back, heart pounding. No one else heard it, just her. The villagers grew bolder in their cruelty. They threw stones at her doorstep. They smeared ashes on her water pots. They said the earth would rot if her child touched it. Zuba stopped going to the market. She drank rainwater, ate roots. She dreamed of fire. Each night the same, a forest drenched in blood, a shadow with Mosa's voice, chanting in a language not meant for humans, and the third room, always burning. She knew what it meant. The spirits were not finished with her. At dawn, she saw her, an old woman standing by the tree, wrapped in red cloth, eyes like cracked glass. Mangozi, once the most feared spiritual guardian in Mbale, now thought to be dead. "You walk heavy," the woman said, "because you carry more than flesh." Zuba couldn't speak. "You opened what should have stayed sealed. The child you carry, it is bound by blood and promise, and both have been broken." Zuba fell to her knees. "What am I supposed to do?" she whispered. Mangozi leaned in close, her voice like dry leaves. "You must return to the forest, to where he made the pact, before the child is born, or it will not be a child at all." Zuba stared into her eyes, and for the first time, she saw it. Not age, not madness, but fear. Zuba didn't wait for morning. With nothing but a cloth over her shoulders and a knife tucked beneath her dress, she walked. Past the last hut, past the graves, into the mouth of the forest. The trees groaned, the ground pulsed. She could feel it now, something watching her, old and hungry. She didn't turn back. Every branch she pushed aside whispered a memory. The first night Mosa disappeared, the first time he touched her skin and felt cold, the first time she doubted his love. Leaves cracked beneath her feet, the forest grew thicker, and then she saw it. The altar, built from bones and bark, covered in dried blood and feathers. A mark scorched into the wood, two serpents eating each other's tails. Zuba froze, her breath caught. Then a voice behind her, "You shouldn't have come." She spun around, but no one was there, only shadows, and wind that smelled like fire. Suddenly, the earth beneath the altar split open. Not wide, not deep, just enough for a small black bundle to rise. She stepped closer. Inside, Mosa's wedding ring, and a piece of her own hair. Zuba's knees buckled. He had bound her to this. He hadn't just left her. He'd offered her, as a vessel. For what? The trees leaned in. The air thickened. Her child twisted violently inside her. And then, she heard something she never expected. It wasn't a voice. It was a memory. A sound from years ago, buried deep. Mosa, laughing, saying, "Even if I'm gone, you'll never be free." Zuba fell back, shaking. There was no running now, no praying. Only one path left, to find what Mosa had unleashed, and end it. Some stories are told to scare you. Others are told to prepare you. If you've followed Zuba this far, you already know. The real story hasn't even started. And if you think you're ready for what comes next, you might want to stay close. The forest fell silent. Even the wind dared not speak. Zuba stood frozen, the bundle in her hand trembling. The altar pulsed, like a heartbeat buried in the dirt. Then, a sound. Not from behind, from beneath. A low, wet breathing, like something waking up after a long sleep. Zuba stepped back. The ground cracked, and from the black earth, something rose. Not a man, not a beast. A figure cloaked in shadows, its face a blur of smoke and ash. But in its hand, Mosa's walking staff. Zuba gasped. "You wear his shape," she said, barely breathing. "But you're not him." The figure tilted its head. Its voice slithered. "I was always here. He just opened the door." Zuba clutched her belly. The child inside her kicked, hard. "You used him." "No," it said. "He begged for me. He brought you to me. And you." It stepped closer. "You are the key." She turned to run, but roots shot from the ground, wrapping around her ankles. She fell hard, the altar shaking behind her. The figure knelt beside her, face now inches away. It had no eyes, no mouth, just darkness. "But it's not too late," it whispered. "To end this," Zuba cried. "To become more," it hissed. Zuba screamed. A pulse of heat burst from her belly, throwing the figure back. The roots loosened. The forest shuddered. Zuba scrambled to her feet, panting, wild-eyed. She didn't understand what the child was, or what she was anymore. But she knew one thing. Whatever that thing was, it feared her. She turned and ran, faster than she ever had, through thorns, through whispers, through the thick black of the trees. She didn't stop until the edge of the village touched her feet. And as she collapsed, mud-covered and breathless, the wind carried one last whisper from the woods. This is not over. By the time Zuba returned, the sky had turned red, not from the sun, from smoke. The village was burning, huts collapsed, crops withered black, goats screamed like people, and in the center of it all stood Mangozi, arms raised to the sky, her eyes rolled white. Zuba staggered forward, breath caught in her throat. What happened? Mangozi didn't look at her. You were warned, she said. You brought it back. I tried to stop it, Zuba cried. I didn't know. Mangozi turned. You didn't listen. Behind them, villagers screamed. The river had dried. The air stank of sulfur. Children were missing. And still, no one touched Zuba. They just stared, some in fear, some in hate, some in awe. Then, a sound rose from the forest. A horn, deep, ancient, calling. And the child inside Zuba began to turn, twist, push. She collapsed, clutching her stomach. It's too soon, she gasped. It's not time yet. But Mangozi shook her head. It is time, whether you're ready or not. From the smoke stepped a man, not just any man, Mosa, but not as she remembered him. His skin was darker now, burned from inside. His eyes glowed faint red, and in his hand, the same staff the spirit held. The villagers backed away, terrified. But Mosa smiled. I told you, Zuba, we would never be apart. She tried to speak, couldn't. Her body shook. He stepped closer. Our child is not a mistake. It's the future, the bridge between this world and the next. Zuba wept. You sacrificed me. I elevated you. She screamed. The earth cracked beneath her. Light burst from her chest. Mangozi shielded her eyes. The villagers dropped to their knees. Zuba rose to her feet, barefoot, bloody, burning with something new. This child is mine, she said, and I will not let it be yours. Zuba stood in the ashes. Her breath was fire. Her skin glowed gold. Her eyes, no longer afraid. Mosa moved closer, step by step. I made you, he said. I made all of this. She didn't move. No, she said. You just broke the rules. I'm what comes after. The sky cracked. Thunder without rain. The ground split open beneath her feet. From it rose a pulse of light, wrapping around her body. And from her stomach, a scream. Not hers, the child's. Mosa stepped back. It's waking. Zuba dropped to her knees, hands on the earth. Sweat, tears, and something darker poured from her. The villagers watched in silence. Mangozi whispered, She's doing it. She's choosing. The wind stopped. The fire froze. Everything waited. Zuba looked at the people who had cursed her, the man who had betrayed her, the child who had come through her, and she spoke. Let it be born, but not in your name. She slammed her palm to the ground. The altar in the forest exploded in flame. Mosa screamed, and in that scream, he vanished. Only his staff remained, turned to ash. The baby was born before dawn, silent, wide-eyed, glowing. Zuba held it close, not cursed, not divine, just new. Now you tell me, if you had the power to destroy someone who hurt you, would you use it? Type your answer in the comments. We want to know what you would do. And if you're ready to uncover more secrets buried in shadow, click the playlist at the end of this video. What's waiting there might just change everything.